Hello and welcome to today's Wild Hearthstone deck tech and gameplay video on an update to Big Spell Mage. Big Spell Mage wants to cast big spells, ideally if you can, as early as you can, and if you can't do it early, you try to get additional cast or just, try and cast the big spells and hopefully translate that into a win sometimes. Now, before we get into this, the best way I can describe this deck, it is neither good nor bad. It is very random, in that cards like Puzzle Box and Rune of the Archmage, and even cards like Mask of Cthulhu and Prison of Yogg Saron, are all kind of big spells, but they are inherently random. So you can't really rely on the deck, doing well or doing poor. You just have to sort of accept the fact that you're, pulling the slot machine lever and just having some fun. So don't get too concerned about the most optimal plays or too invested in the outcome of whether you win or lose. You play a game or you play a deck like this if you want to have games that are just more fun and, want to have a more lighthearted experience. Because while it's nice to be super, try-hardy and spiky, sometimes you just want to cast a puzzle box of Yogg Saron and see what kind of goofy, crazy shit happens. And that is the basics of... That's what the deck wants to do at its core. To do that, we have a couple of new cards, in addition to all the old ones, like Surfalopod, effectively falling into the category of, in theory anyway, again, casting your spells early on, since you don't have to pay the mana for any of the big spells you might draw. So say you can Surfalopod into, like, again, a Puzzle Box or an Ice Blood Tower or a Galactic Projection Orb earlier than you having to wait to turn 10 to be able to cast the thing. Also, we have cards like Shivering Sorceress, also and Celestial Inkset. Both of these are in the realm of reducing the cost of spells to cast them early on. Since while they are random, it is nice to say cast a Sunset Volley or Rune of the Archmage or a Puzzle Box a couple turns earlier than you would normally be able to do. We also have kind of King Tide as a ramp tool. It doesn't always work. Sometimes, with the reduction that you might get from other spells, you can actually sort of hose your mana a bit, but more often than not, King Tide is another one of those cards that allow you to sort of ramp kind of into your big spells, so you could again cast them earlier and hopefully get lucky and have something good happen with them. And beyond that, we have, the rest of the list kind of self-explanatory. Cards like Grey Sage Parrot, and you get are ways to basically cast the spells again, much like Commander Savara, another way or method to get additional cast out of all of the various big scary spells. You could also kind of include Galactic Projection Orb in the whole casting big spells repeatedly category. Again, all of which with the caveat that most of the spells are random, and sometimes it's not going to work perfectly well. And the rest of the deck is just like Kartut Defenders, Deathhead Cultist, Arcane Artificers, Deep Water Evoker, all cards that are used to either gain you some armor so you can survive more aggressive lists, or, present taunt bodies that also heal you, again, to sort of limit the damage that really aggressive decks can do to you, since the deck, even if you get all of the very cool King Tides and Surfalopods, or whatever ways that you have to ramp into them, or ramp into your big spells, sometimes an aggressive deck will just run through you. And that's the basics of the list. At its core, we play big spells early and often, and if we can, repeatedly, and hopefully we get lucky with our various RNG heavy spells, and if not, just have some fun and don't get, too invested in how the game goes. But anywho, don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future, and if you have any sort of questions about, I don't have, say, X spell, what about Y, or other generally nice and or constructive comments, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. With all that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 1. And game number 1 with our Big Spell Mage. We'll get rid of the Defender, and I guess we can keep a Puzzle Box here. Of course, with the caveat that since the deck is so random, you can't super rely on having a good matchup against certain decks. In my experience, if it's like a self-damage kind of, I call it Flagellation Warlock. If it's one of those lists, the deck can struggle just because it can go very fast, and not fast in a way that like our Kartuk Defenders and our Death's Head Cultists can make us sort of survive and like lessen the damage. A self-damage Warlock, which I don't think this is what this is pretty adept at going over your defenses. But now I don't know what our opponent's running, so fucking who knows. Coin. Oh, is it like a curse thingy? I mean, okay, that's fine. Oh, I don't want to... Annoyingly, I'm going to have to... I can cast the Abyssal Curse and get some armor off of it, because it is a spell. But annoyingly, it's going to be in... God, that sucks. Oh my god, what a non-bow. Now, this is very rare, and on the whole, Command of Savara is still a very good card for this list. But this is a very corner case example where it's actually kind of bad. Sure. The Cultist is an acceptable body. Next turn, we can hit a Cephalopod. Hopefully we don't draw naturally a spell that we would want to cast for free, but who knows. That's fine. I don't... Well, okay. That works because my deck doesn't have a whole lot of good creatures, but if you don't know that, I don't know if that's a great use of that card. Anywho. Cephalopod. Hopefully we draw a spell. We do have cards like our Deep Water Evokers or whatever that can manually draw spells and sort of control, air quotes, what happens, but not always. Where are all the death rattles? Hey, there we go, baby. Good example of this, of the Cephalopod being able to ramp in admittedly a very abstract way, but you know, ramp is ramp, and we'll take it. Doing good. That's fine. A little weird. I can't attack with this, so I think this dies at some point during this. Oh, fucking that sucks. Cool. I guess. Not going great. Oh, it's alive. Okay. Reach friendly damage character. That really kind of stinks, doesn't it? In that case, we'll just go face. I guess we'll just do a chaos creation. Yeah, we'll go face. Why not? Again, we can burn some stuff, and that's fine. But we accept that some random shit is going to happen with this list. Is it? Yeah, okay. Doing okay. Granted, the warrior cards we got are just absolute hot garbage. The hottest of Garbaggio, if you will. Okay, I thought they were like some cool Death Knight, Warlock, Death Rattle thing, like a list that I have, but now they're just a pile of cards, so I don't know what's happening anymore. I guess we'll do an Evoker. It's not really going to do that much, but sure. And we'll just play the ETC to get out of hand. I guess we'll keep the weapon charges. If nothing else, you know, as a way or a method to just kind of control the board a little bit. Okay, I don't know what the hell our opponent's running anymore. Like cool, I guess? Sure. I have the armor. We'll be fine. Play a defender, giving us a big chunky spell that we don't mind recasting with a Grey Sage Parrot. Well, I would say probably what we're going to do, but since we have a Galactic Projection Orb in hand, we can sort of save the Parrot to get an additional copy of the Orb. Trade like this. I guess we'll trade into the other taunt, and then we'll do a Sunset Volley. Hopefully get lucky. That's not bad. And we got a big scary Deathwing. Not bad. It's working. Now our Sunset Volleys are 9 cost. We have to manually cast a puzzle box. The one we cast when drawn doesn't count, as far as I'm aware, for the Galactic Projection Orb. So we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. But that's fine. Do they have an answer for the Deathwing? I mean, okay. It's oddly ordered, but sure. And yeah, this is what happens with this deck. It's just, you know, a fun little RNG-based time in which you shouldn't get too attached to the outcome of anything. I really don't want to cast this puzzle box, but might as well. Probably going to fill my hand up with garbage. Not bad. Okay. Wow. Okay, that sucks. Oh boy. Oh, you absolute asshole. Okay, yeah. That certainly was a hand. That was cool until I lost the creatures. And our opponent's just running a pile. Yeah. God, they're not even paying attention. Sure, whatever. That's fine. Now I'm overloaded from cards. I want to cry. Whatever. Oh well. We're probably going to lose. Because even though our opponent is doing a whole lot of a nothing sandwich, theirs is a controlled nothing sandwich, and can't really ask for much more. So I'm not doing that. Actually, useless. I guess we'll do a Rune. Hopefully get something. Another arcane. Okay. That's better. Okay, it's kind of turning around. Not just go to a... Yeah, there we go. Okay, that actually was a little better. Okay, this is like turning out remarkably well. That would have been nice to hit a creature, but what do you gotta do? Guess we'll bonk the 3/2 and play a Galactic Projection Orb and just hope and pray. You know, just let RNGesus take the wheel and all that jazz. Go face. Yeah. This list has already gone off the rails, so oh well, we burn our cards. I mean, we're casting a lot of shit. That's not awful. Sure. No. Okay. Alright. Oh, I already attacked, right. Filling up my hand with garbage. More garbage. Okay, not for nothing. I'm talking mad shit on the RNG, but, like, it's not a bad board. Well, let me rephrase that. It wasn't a bad board. It now is. It's not helpful. We're going to draw cards now, which is really bad. I think we actually die. Yeah. Oh well. It's like, we were doing pretty good. And, you know, it's RNG. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it goes bad. Just is part of the game. Anyway, bleh, we'll go on now to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little, what's the word, Big Spell Mage. In that case, we can kind of take it. We don't need the Cartoon Defender as much. We'd love to draw a spell so we can actually use the King Tide. And King Tide actually has the weird... That'll do. the weird upside in that if it's a like a spell hunter quest thing, you can actually really slow down an opposing quest from a hunter. Since most of the spells they want to cast are like very low mana and just like many instances of damage, but it doesn't appear to be that. So far, this list is not this list. This game with this list is going pretty well. That's fine. I don't think Secret Hunter's good. I want it to be good, as evidenced by previous versions that I've tried to make, but it's just not good. Anywho, Hero Power Pass. For those who were wondering, this was the only RNG heavy list I'm going to run for a little while. I just wanted to have a little fun and like a bit of a palate cleanser from like trying to make, you know, somewhat competent decks all the time. So the next list we'll go back to like a little more like conventional, like much more consistent list. But in the meantime, King Tide. I probably will be Arcane Defender since that will take longer to get to than the Mask of Cthulhu. Unless we happen to draw like something else particularly crazy, but I don't think much else is going to be better than an Arcane Defenders. Yeah, I didn't think so. Sadly, though understandably, when you reduce the cost of a spell with like a King Tide, even if the spell naturally, like a Arcane Defenders, is normally 8 mana, it only sees that it was cast for 5, so it won't recast with a Grey Sage Parrot. Unfortunate, though I understand mechanically what's happening. I guess we can attack with the Tide, and if we get... No. Okay. Just go phase. In that case, play a Cephalopod. What's the secret? Anywho, play the Cephalopod. Maybe get lucky with like a Sunset Volley that might just kill our opponent. If not, we can always just hard cast a Mask of Cthulhu next turn. Again, hopefully apply that damage with our big scary board going to their face. As our opponent will find out, if you are playing some sort of secret hunter, maybe even a Reno secret hunter, it's just not good enough, unfortunately. But anywho, go face. I was going to cast the spell, but let's not be rude. And just bonk him. Since this list, or this particular game was only 3 minutes long, we will do a game number 3. But yeah, sometimes you can win and get like lucky with high rolls, and either with high rolls or like good sequencing with the King Tide into the Defenders. And yeah, sometimes you can, you know, squeeze wins. But again, it's an RNG deck. It's neither good nor bad. It's random, which is an important distinction. Anywho, on to game number 3. And game number 3 with our Big Spell Mage. Go ahead. Don't need you. Or the puzzle box. We'll keep the Cephalopod and the Ice Blood Tower, in case we happen to draw like a King Tide or something and can reduce the cost of the tower and play it earlier. A nice little bit of synergy. The rest of the hand is fine. A Grey Sage Parrot isn't going to be online for a hot minute, admittedly, but that's fine. Hi, sweetheart. Could we maybe get out from in front of the TV? Yeah, come hang out with Dad. Your sister's eating. Don't be a butt. Anywho. Okay, that wasn't you being a butt. That was she leaving. Yep. Ink set, perfectly fine. We're not doing a whole lot, but our opponent isn't doing a whole lot. They don't appear to be some time-walky... Maybe we have a similar idea. I was going to say they're not some sort of time... I don't know if it's time walk or time warp, but basically an infinite turn kind of kill you deck. Maybe they're also running some fun big spelly shenanigans, which would be a happy coincidence. I love when people like, what? Is that cool, I guess? Okay, that's okay. I know I don't like the idea of having to, like, give them an audio splitter trigger, basically, but, like, I'm a little afraid that if we don't, we're going to take a lot of damage in the interim turns, and I don't know if we're going to be able to pardon? Copy of 7, 8, 9, 10. Not bad. I did not even remember that card existed. That's not bad. That's a lot of card draw, though, and this deck already struggles with, like, having a handful of fluff. So it might not be the best fit in this list, but who knows what they're running. I could be wrong. Play a Surflipod. Yeah, it dies immediately, unfortunately. But we're really more after the effect of the Surflipod than the body. The body is nice, not for nothing. It's a 5/6 for 5. Like a actually serviceable, fine body with a good battle cry in a deck like this. Ooh. Ooh la la. Okay, that's a little boring. I acknowledge that Astlor's a good card, but, like, you were doing so good with, like, interesting cards before then. Anywho. I guess we can just summon an Artificer. Hopefully it stays alive so I can play a Blizzard next turn and gain some armor in addition to the actual effect of the Blizzard. They're still frozen. Granted, this might just eat a removal spell as they've shown, but if they did, that's fine. What is the... Which one is the mage reward? Am I crazy? Is it like the Hawk one that gives you another Titan that costs like 1 mana? I thought they were like playing more big spelly stuff, but their deck's getting a little off the rails here. Oh well. Blizzard in the meantime. And now we have a play guaranteed next turn with a reduction from the ink set. Big old scary sunset volley. I will acknowledge that I think if there's a way you can go a little less like Yogg kind of RNG heavy with this list and make a in theory better deck, but I don't know if there's enough good spells like Sunset Volley or the Defender spell. I don't know if there's enough spells like that yet to achieve that effect, but it's very close otherwise. Guess we'll ping here. And then we'll go Sunset Volley. Hopefully kill the Poisonous. There we go. The rest is neither here nor there. That's a fantastic hit. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's enough here. There might be enough cool big spells that you could like make a little less RNG version of this list. And if I do an update, we might actually start to move away from the RNG, Yogg, Saron, sort of like goofy RNG part of it. We might move away from that in future versions. But, you know, every once in a while, I like some goofy randomness, even if you hear me talk mad shit about it. 2 for 1ing yourself? Okay. Oh, I guess he got that from that. Yeah, okay, never mind. Disregard my shit talking. He 2 for 1 himself, but he could only do so after getting it. That's my fault. Last one was a Blizzard, so I could just cast another one. Oh, Sunset Volley. Really? I thought it didn't... Okay, disregard my comment from earlier. It does... Yeah, I was just flat out wrong. I was under the impression that if a cost reduction effect reduced the spell to lower than 6, it wouldn't recast it. But apparently, the parrot cares about the base cost of the spell, not the reduced cost of the spell. Oh, you fucking loser. Like, yeah, it's a good thing to do, but boo. Oh, well. Can't have them all, I guess. I think I'm actually going to do a Mask of Cthulhu here. See what... Yeah, where our reduction goes. That way I can do another mask next turn. Maybe. That... I mean... Cool, I guess? That helps. Okay, that's not bad. I genuinely did not know that card existed. It's kind of another... Okay, our opponent... Okay, now that I know that a card like that exists, I think there might be enough to do a version that I was talking about. Or a similar version to what I was talking about. So I can admit that I was wrong, and I enjoy finding out that new cards existed. Play a tower. Hopefully a puzzle box goes good. Not bad. To me. Okay, that's not awful. Minion. Hooray. Cool. Alright, cool. Are we gonna get there anyway? I mean, okay, it's not awful. We'll take that. See if our opponent has some sort of... Okay. I love Sleet Skater, though. This card's fantastic. See what our opponent's gonna do. I do just have a Sunset Volley that I can just throw out, and hopefully the rest of the minions attacking will do, like, enough to get a win. Do I care? Minion in your deck to gain instead. Meh. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go face. Hey, not bad. This isn't gonna get us a kill, but it's just at this point will hopefully hurt their board, kind of, or not at all. That's an option too, I guess. Gotta collect the projection orb. Okay, we got there in the end. Okay. I don't think I can lose from here. There we go. Yeah, and sometimes you squeeze out weird wins. And yeah, that's the basis of the list. The deck, again, I've said this before in the video, and I will say it again. The deck is neither good nor bad. It's random. Although that Naga Sea Witch our opponent played did show me that there are cards that I think I can do another updated version in the future if we get more cool big spells that can take it away from the Yogg RNG, or as heavy in like the Yogg Saron truly random RNG, and a little more into like the Sunset Volleys and Mask of Cthulhu's of the world, and make it like a little more consistent. So that'll be fun if you like a video or a deck like this and you want to see a more consistent updated version. I think I now have an option of what I might do. Anywho, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future, and if you have any sort of questions like I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally nice or constructive comments, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. Anywho, thank you all so much for watching, and stay cool out there since it's getting pretty hot. Alright, bye-bye.